for some reason. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Season 1 finale review of Cassian Andor. Cassian Andor, Season 1. I'm the Dom, Travis Snail. I'm joined by...
I am once again the prestige Kirklin Patzer.
I'm the Rebellion, Taylor Field.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This is our last. So it's funny. This week we kind of round it all up because yes, we have our last MCU thing tomorrow, which is Guardians. But this is our last like regular series. It's come to that point where we're nearing down stuff and things like that. But we still got a packed year ahead. As I got a notification, I don't know if any of us are going to review Wednesday, but we're definitely going to talk about it at some point because that's out. We got Avatar coming out. We're going to be doing a Christmas retrospective. Good news, everybody, because we were really worried about this. They bumped up the Grinch slasher film a week ahead of Avatar, probably because they knew it was going to just destroy it. But so we got a bunch of fun things, bunch of newscasts. Taylor looked very confused when I said that statement too.
It's like what, they were afraid the Grinch was going to destroy Avatar, so they bumped
Absolutely.
it
Oh yeah. Cameron's like, can you please move a week? And they're like, I guess.
Paid them.
Yeah,
Paid the money to move
I'll give
it.
you half the Avatar box office if you move a week. And they're like, all right. But Taylor Field, for the month of December and the last 7 days of November, where can they find the newscasts, the reviews, the Travis told you, the side quest, and everything else in between?
Ladies and gentlemen, you can find us with your internet connection in the search bar. GeekVerse.ca is our home base. GeekVerse is our Twitter. GeekVerse is our Facebook.
Everything you need to know is down below. Like that banner says right there, head over to Patreon because you could have joined us for what was a very good time this past Saturday at After 9. We had Carl join us and S. Bubs and Maddie. Talked about Letterboxd and Black Panther and Kirklin's questionable shower routine. So you go check out that. And next month you can join the Phase 2 tier or higher and join the call. A big thank you to our Patreon producers, April Darkness, Aaron Brain, Smalley Big, Josh Ray. He put it up early. I wasn't expecting him.
You said phase. You said phase. I'm like, here we go. Phase 4. Let's do it.
Anything Phase 2 up, you're getting now. I will say we'll update you, but I think the originals for this month you're gonna get 2 next month. So don't worry, patrons. We're just a little late because there's a lot of stuff going on. Lots of reviews and stuff like that are getting in the way, which is a good thing. But we will, if we miss the originals this month, we will do that. And then now that Andor is done, I think it's next week we're recording. We're gonna be doing a Patreon bread and butter. Me, Taylor, and Kirkland. We're gonna be ranking the Star Wars just that like properties. I think we're going to do kind of what we did with Marvel. We're going to do probably like our best scenes, our favorite characters. And I think we've always talked about this. I think it's time for us to rank our top 5 lightsaber duels because we're always saying what would it be. So next week, I'll send you guys a topic on the weekend. Next week, we're going to have a good one. So look out for that, the bread and butter. And yeah, everything down below, the links, the audio, our Patreon feed, our GWA feed, stuff like that. So anything else? Yes, Manscaped. We're going to talk a bit more about that later, but you should go do that because right now they got some Black Friday sales coming up. You can get a whole bunch of stuff using that and our code. So definitely, like I said, we're going to talk more later about Christmas coming up. Good gift ideas. So you want to be doing that. And yeah. What's going on, Taylor? You look like you got a smirk or something.
No, I see Kirkland smirking, and I'm just smirking
I'm just having
too.
such a great time. I don't know what it is. There's
Well,
good energy in the room.
you know what they're smirking about, and it's not the Manscaped. They're smirking about that, but we'll talk about that later. I would do this on a newscast or a GV podcast, but because we don't have one this week, because next day is Knives Out, and then it's holiday
Guardians.
special and stuff like that, Guardians, and I didn't want to put it off. So if people knew around Comic-Con time or specifically when we reviewed,
I don't
shut
understand
up,
what you just
shut up. Take 2 for the TikTok. If you remember around Comic-Con time, something that became a big phenomenon for us, and specifically in the lead up to Black Adam, was a little drink called Zoa, and we wanted to do it for the charity stream. It wasn't around. We couldn't get it to Canada, couldn't ship to Canada. We wanted to do it for Black Adam, same thing. But lo and behold, because I had to make an online custom Costco order, and it was the first thing when I went to the drinks, like beverages, the first thing advertising was a fucking Zoa. So I have a 12 case of Zoa right now. I've not tried it yet, and me and Taylor were seeing a late review tonight. I don't want to see it with him. He cheated to win the wrestling match, whole shebang, but contracts. But I put online which one did people want me to drink first. So live on air, I'm going to taste, and we're going to get right in the review. Don't worry.
Tropical Punch, right?
Tropical Punch is what they voted for.
Voted.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. I'm really not. They didn't have so it was that white peach and something orange. I don't even know.
It was
what
just orange.
Is it just
Is what you
orange?
wrote.
Yeah.
That's
so
what you
didn't
wrote
have
on
the
your Twitter.
but I don't think it says orange on the can, but I never looked at it. So
It's like
I'll
Samoa
update you.
Orange or something like that.
Dwayne Orange. So here we go. Got to get this for the exactly. Nice crack there. Okay. First of all, I like the size of the can. It's a good Rock's hands are
Fits
so
in
big.
the hand.
I bet. Well, I know why. Oh. Okay. It had a good smell, but
Oh,
it's kind
no.
of it's like the first initial was nice, but now it just smells like not like old water. Okay. So here we
Ooh.
go.
Like not triple punch. Ugh. He's not supposed to drink it. He's supposed to spit it out, right? Like wine tasting rules.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's very
Okay.
it's very thick. It's very
Oh, what? That's not what I was expecting.
thick. like it
Like a
Like
milkshake thick.
It's like,
Fuck.
the bubbles at the top of it. Like, when you're in a wave pool and you're in that one spot where you can't get out because the waves just keep like hitting you over and over. That's what it was like trying to swallow it. But the taste was good. It has like a nice tropical punch taste and stuff like that. So, you want more?
The frothiness, though, that's not what you want. That's in an energy drink. I feel like that's
The
not
sec-
supposed to be
It's
there.
very questionable.
The second part was better. It wasn't as frothy, but then my lips tasted kind of weird. So, it's a review
Like
in
tingy?
progress. Yeah, I just I start like hiving out and everything like that. No, it's just like very sweet. I think it definitely has a lot of like flavor boosters in there, like artificial flavors and stuff like that. But so far, like when someone said it tasted like ass when we looked at reviews, I would say that. I don't think it tastes like ass unless it's like this is a good. If your ass is tasting like tropical punch, then you've done something right. But it's at the first drink, it feels a little bitter and stuff like that. But I'm excited for you guys to get some because Kirklin said he might buy some soon. But either way, for the GV Christmas party, we'll take a video. All four of us are going to drink it. We have to.
Yeah. I think I'll have to pick it up for some Warzone juice since we're going to be jumping in this weekend.
I find it kind of funny how the Costco site says "Made in Canada." You telling me that Zoas are made in Canada, but the only way to get them
The
is through
ad.
Costco?
The ad was made in Canada.
Yeah. Well, that was very exciting. So yeah, I will keep you updated. So far, I'm happy with it, but let's also see what the effects are after. How juiced it gets me.
It's a good price, $25.99 Canadian for a 12-pack. That's not too
I
bad.
paid 21.
21. The website says, and there's a Costco grocery surcharge of $3 on top of that.
Oh, are you on the Costco website?
Costco.ca. That's the
Okay,
one.
I was on Instacart, so maybe it was cheaper or something. I don't know, but
Is
there you
Instacart
go.
like a third party?
Yeah, but maybe they take their prices down. They eat the Costco price so they can take more of the money for themselves or something. Who knows? But now to get us out of there before we get some one stars, like fucking Zoas, man. I'm just here for Andor.
Yeah.
He's
We're all-
rock
That guy
Sims.
that's listening. That guy's listening. He's like, "Oh, I hated it. It was ass." That was his review. 1-star review on
Of
the
our
Zoa and
podcast.
us.
Hated GeekVerse is ass.
Sounded like ass.
Sounds like ass.
I do want to shout out to the other side of the story. And Travis is so excited about it. So as he posted it on his Twitter, and he thought The Rock himself would liked his tweet, but it was not The Rock. It was Summer Hansen.
For like a 0.5 second, but because she has that stupid Dwayne Rock, the Dwayne Johnson name, and it's gotten me before too, where I'm like, why the fuck did Rock tweet this out? I'm like, oh no, it's her memeing. So yeah, shout out to Summer Hansen, but yeah,
How was that feeling though? For like that split second that you thought it was actually Dwayne, you're like, "Oh my god, oh
He's
my
gonna
god,
retire.
Emily,
It's good.
Emily,
Yeah.
bring the kids."
I'm going to yeah. I'm leaving GeekVerse for $7. Hosting the $7 podcast. This is good. It has a good feel though. I like the the perfect hand mount. I like the length and stuff like that. So
As the mouth opening, good size,
like a regular cam.
like a regular can. Okay.
That was Bob. Gurga Patzer, what did you think of the finale of Andor? No,
Oh right, that's why we're here. Okay, I forgot.
That's just in the cast. We'll review next week.
Yeah, a little 8-minute episode of
Yeah.
reviewing.
See ya,
Solos.
everybody.
Yeah,
You were supposed to go quiet.
Who did
You were
this?
supposed to sell it. You were supposed to sell it like we're ending right there, but nope, that's all right.
starting soon. You need thanks for coming.
I know.
That's all,
I
folks.
know. We don't
need
have it.
better graphics. Anyways, Andor, episode 12. I think this was called
That's number 12.
Bix Road.
Like,
no,
this could be used
Rick's
for-
Road.
Big's Road. Yeah, like we use this for ending or something like that. Like I feel like that's a good end.
Hell yeah.
That's all, folks.
That's all.
That's what
folks.
Travis is gonna be in the middle of the night when the Zoa's coming out of him.
It's always a bad idea.
Okay, yeah. So, fuck, you're killing me here. You're killing me here. Okay, episode 12, finale of Andor.
That's what I said.
Long story short, I don't think this episode disappointed by any means of a finale. I think it was starting. I was like, okay, I'm in it for the finale. I'm loving the show so much, but I'm not sure if this is gonna be like my like top 3 favorite episodes by that means, but holy shit, I think halfway through this episode, which is such a great point to have, leading up to halfway point of the episode, it was just like a really nice slow build up. There's some great like instruments that come in. I'm not gonna spoil the entire scene, but just like the prolonged build up, I guess, of those instruments and them just getting louder and louder and like nobody really on screen knowing what's gonna happen. I thought like I really didn't know what was gonna happen, and I'm excited to talk about specifically in that and spoilers. But holy shit, man, I love this episode so much. This show as a whole completely blew my mind. I'm so pumped on Star Wars right now. I feel like I've only ever felt that after like a big movie. Maybe I'm like not giving enough credit to something like Mando, because definitely that season 2 finale.
Awakens. Come on, we were all there.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Well,
Boba Fett finale.
That's that was glad it's over.
Yes,
but
the credits.
It was just such like a beautiful end to the first season. It's got me wanting more. I think it ended in such a really good, clever way of, again, just leaving like the viewers wanting more and getting pumped for what's going to be coming. You weren't
leaving like Briggs and Rise of Skywalker.
No.
I was wondering what a reference. I was like, why is he smiling like that? You need to make a Briggs joke here.
But yeah, man, I love the show so much. Holy shit! There was multiple times this episode I had goosebumps. I had like tears in my eyes. I was hooting and hollering, wanting more. I think this episode was 56 minutes too. So out of all the episodes 57. To have like a full, 57. So basically a full hour long. I'm glad it was in the finale. I mean, there wasn't really many episodes in there that were like 45 or lower. So that is nice that we got a lot of great Star Wars content here. And man, what an effect this show is having already on just my like boosting my opinion, I guess, of Rogue One and like just this overall era of Star Wars, the dark times. Like it was just beaten over the head so many times, beating that drum so much. I'm so happy with what's going on with this show.
This is a good beat. It's a good beat.
It's a great beat. Yeah, it's like the toll. What do they call it? The toller of the bell? I don't think that's actually what they're called, but the guy that's tolling the bell
in the show, the bell ringer.
The bell ringer. I guess it's I had the bell tolls in my head, and I just for some reason thought they were the toller of the bell. But someone please take this away from me before I reach my maximum word count.
Taylor, take it.
God, I got saliva stuck in my throat there for a second.
You need a fucking Zoa, bro.
I need a Zoa. So
Zoa.
This episode,
let's fucking go.
This episode was great. Oh man, it's nice to have an episode that didn't have any over-the-top craziness like we are so used to with Star Wars. It was just something that was...
What? Is that a common criticism of Star Wars? Over-the-top craziness?
I think the majority of Star Wars projects we've gotten, we have like a plethora of like cameo characters that drop in, or like Force users, all this kind of stuff, or you get like the Darth Maul. Oh, I do. I eat it up. But then when we get something that is completely opposite of that, and it's just kind of diving into just something that's just fresh and doesn't have to be so flamboyantly cameo filled and all that jazz, it just makes me appreciate Star Wars for just being its own thing, and this show being its own identity, knowing that it is, yes, obviously we see what happens with Andor, with Rogue One, all that magical stuff, but it's still a great story that this series has delivered in providing its own small-scale conflict in the wider arena of the Galactic Empire, the Rebellion, all that kind of stuff. And so I really applaud them for tackling that in this episode and being just a small-scale, grounded, like you said, Kirklin, a slow burn. It's just really, really nice. And I think that the way they capped this season off was really, really good. While it's definitely not devoid of open-ended storylines and kind of like developments that we'll definitely see in season 2 pick up again, which I'm very much looking forward to. Yeah, trying to say that very loosely.
I like how
not
you
spoilery.
you skeetered away from the information you're
What's
about
in
to-
a spoiler? Cassian Andor's gonna fucking die.
Luke showed up, man, and he just started slicing.
Well, we know
heads
he's
off.
we know Cassian's gonna die, but I mean, there's other things.
All these other
going
people
on.
dead, right? Skywalker, you think they're alive? No.
Do you think Filoni was like watching like the whatever if it's called test screen of this? He's like, what if we just brought in like Obi-Wan here? You know, he's the canon guy, isn't he? He likes to sprinkle.
Yeah, but
some.
I don't think he was a part of this show. That's why it's so.
He was in
good.
the
Oh,
credits.
That's why.
Why is
That's-
it? Or no, what is he listed as?
I don't remember.
Why
I
is
just
that?
remember I locked
Why
in.
is he in there?
I just locked in on Dave Filoni in the credits, but
Did he just get thank you? No, I think he's an EP, but he's not. It's not like Boba and Mando and Tales where he's like heavily involved. This is one where it's like
What's his
Say-
role at Lucasfilm even? I
He's
feel like
like
he's
story
he's
group of
pitching for
eyes or
Kathleen
something.
Kennedy's role.
he's like
yeah.
story group of eyes or something. But like that,
I would have
this,
assumed he just has his fingers on everything that's gonna come out.
Acolyte. He doesn't, and I don't know what else, but I know those, and obviously the movies he didn't. So.
Everything that's bombed, he doesn't have his hand on.
He didn't do
so.
any of the movies.
Yeah,
That's
he
kind of
did.
surprising to me.
Boba
Yeah, I got
Fett
Travis,
and fucking Toro Talakan was a Dave Filoni
Or
creation.
Talakan.
Yeah, no, he wasn't a part of any of the movies. Like, I'm sure I think they asked him like, "Oh, does this lightsaber look like this?" He's like, "Yeah, it does." And it's like, okay, and then they moved on. So, go to that too?
Advisor on lightsaber colors.
Yeah.
I like it.
I just think that this was a fantastic season. This is just great, and this episode was amazing, amazing, and I can't wait to talk about the post credit scene because again, it was nothing. This isn't a spoiler, but it was a great thing of a callback into just the basic storyline of the Star Wars universe. It didn't have to be anything super crazy over the top.
You completely win against two of your points.
No, that's exactly the point that I was referring to. Oh yeah.
It was a look at
You
it's
can
like
sprinkle
a,
with
remember
canon
this?
stuff. It's all good.
that.
Yeah.
It's a look at this moment. That's what it really is. It's like you remember this guy, you remember this guy from this movie.
But I think
Yeah?
that's the greatest part of it is because it's just super
That's the greatest part
subtle.
of this episode. Oh my god!
No, that's the greatest part of that scene is that it's just a super simple callback to just how such a small thing has such a large impact. And I think it's great to know too, just the implications of these narratives that these certain characters are involved in and how that is stemming and connecting to just what could be a downfall of them, a downfall
and
to
then
the
what
larger
happens
aspect.
is just one fucking farm boy who has a laser sword saves it for everybody. You know?
What
All
are
these
you
people
spoiling
die.
the end credits scene right now?
Yeah.
He did. I didn't. I was doing a damn good
No.
job.
I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. I'm just saying, like, you know, all this.
He had to
sacrifice-
kiss Leia.
Holland.
He had to
Yeah.
fucking ruin it.
And what do you fuck with? What do you do to Leia? I don't know what you mean, but like, all it comes down to is Han, Luke, and Leia. The rest of these people, they don't matter shit. They do all this work for years, nothing happens, and then this farm boy who's complain about
yeah.
power converters, he comes in and
Disagree.
saves it all. So, Luke Skywalker, motherfucker.
But there's when you say it like that, it's like retrospect. Like
muted. It just good.
Oh no. Oh no. Get this guy out of here. Yeah.
there's the Rock.
Fuck.
But it's kind of like, you know, you have I don't know, you have like a
Zoa.
war or something that happened, and it's like, oh man, like all those people did all that hard work and stuff, and here we are, like, oh, it doesn't matter now, like most of them are dead. Here we are now. It's the same equivalent, but there's still like there's so much weight.
No. I'm saying
there's so
fucking-
much
no.
like emphasis behind it.
No, you're saying I'm saying because they died, they don't matter. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying because these three much better people come in and do their jobs for them. That's why they don't matter. What took these guys like 2 decades, like Luthen, like, you know what I've given up? Fucking Han Solo's getting laid. He's doing all this stuff, and he's saving
And
the
you know
galaxy.
why? It's because Luthen gave everything up.
That's what
He wouldn't
Luthen
have got that.
thinks. Luthen's just standing around doing
That's
shit
what I
all,
think.
You know? Well, you're wrong.
I'm like the Watcher. I know the whole story. Yeah.
Yeah. What happened in Attack of the Clones?
Tell us your thoughts, non-spoilers, Travis.
I thought it was a great episode. I think it was a good end to the season. I don't think it's the strongest episode. I still think all three, the prison arc is the tip top of the show, like all of them. But I thought this was a good way to end it out. I don't think it was one of these. We talked about this where I wasn't worried of it having the same Disney Plus problems because we have a season 2 confirmed and it's happening. So you don't have to rush everything, but it still felt like a proper finale. the way it like ends, I feel like that's a little like I feel like it ends, and the end credit thing for me is a bit too prequely. It's a bit too because it's a prequel hurts to end. There was a bit of a like, oh, look at this thing, and it's like that's what's strange because like the show really hasn't done that. And I get what you're saying too. It's like, oh, look, this leads to a bigger thing, but like I don't think it was really needed. It's fun to see, but even the last moment with I'd say the character we get in the last moments of these episodes, I felt like, oh, okay, this is like they're trying to drive this like tension filled moment, and it was like, I'll explain it right when we get out of the gate, but there's no tension there because we know exactly what's going to happen. They even there's a way where, okay, even with the prison stuff, we know Andor's going to get out, right? But they make that tension filled where I felt that wasn't that. I felt the battle was good. Obviously there's I think a good very character speech that just kind of symbolizes what Star Wars is, the passion of it, the themes, like the best of the best. Because I joke around, but at the end of the day, what Star Wars should be, it's about the underdogs taking out the big, powerful people that have skeeved and tricked and done all these kind of sinful acts to get to the top. They lie, cheated, and steal, and we're the good guys fighting the fight. Even if that means we're the small people, we gotta still do that. So I think this episode like encapsulates that. Performances are good. I was disappointed with like in a minor spoiler with Skarsgård that he wasn't in it too much, and it's good because like we got season 2 and stuff like that. But I was wanting a bit more from him. But I think they did a good job of closing majority of the storylines from the season, and the ones that needed to stay open, they stayed open and left them in an intriguing route. So no, I think they stuck the landing. I'm very excited for season 2. Unfortunately, I feel like that's like 2 years away now, so that's gonna suck. But I think they did a great job, and I think it's recommendation or like I recommend them. I accommodate them because you can go back if you're listening the first time. What I thought the very first 3 episodes, I thought, oh, this was a well-made show, but it's much like Rogue One. What?
You accommodate them?
Like you got room for them in your house?
Yeah,
I do.
I got all the accommodations. I got Zoas.
You commend them.
I commend them. There you go. Don't just let me drown. Give me the fucking word.
We're holding on the lifesaver. Oh, look at this guy.
Oh, this guy's muted too, and this guy's muted too. So you know what? Andor is a great episode. I'm excited to. Oh, I
it's
thought
gonna be the worst night of editing of my life. God damn.
Oh, you got an exam tomorrow? Wham!
God, the Zoas are taking control of him, Taylor.
He's gonna sit next to Madison during the movie tonight.
Anyways, great series. Can't wait for what's to come. And there's one moment and one character in particular that I can't wait to talk about because there was some fun stuff going on there.
It's her.
Do you see her? It's her.
Let's get in there.
Man. Yeah, let's get in there. So if you've not seen it, get out of here. Come back. We'll be talking spoilers right after this ad break. And we're back. So here we are. Where do we want to talk?
Well, what did you want to? You said you wanted to mention something right out of the gate.
Oh yeah, no. So like with the finale, with it being, I liked the twist of Luthen's just standing around watching. He's there to kill Andor. So I'm like, hey, I buy all this because he thinks he's like a loose end and everything. That makes sense. Even though I wish they maybe kind of. It felt like Luthen just kind of forgot about Andor, like it did. Like there's that moment when they were trying to keep tabs on him, and then he was gone. They just never mentioned it. It wasn't even like it's weird we can't find it. Like it was just like, oh, Luthen's like whatever. He's there to kill him. And for them to do the finale where they have them facing off, and he's like, oh, you came here to kill me, and then he's like, do it. And pretty much Andor's just telling him you can shoot him. I think it's climactic if it's just them facing down and you go, what's going to happen? Because is Luthen going to shoot and he's going to miss? Is Andor going to attack him? But when Luthen with Andor just kind of gives up and just says, like, you can just kill me, it's like, well, now the tension's gone because we know that's not the route that's going to go. So I thought, okay, to me, the tension was, is there going to be a scuffle here? What's going to be the Luthen thing? And then he smiles and they kind of answer that question. But I just didn't feel it in that moment because I felt with the dialogue they were choosing, because I feel like really early on, he's like, just kill me. And it's like, okay, like just like you could have let it just play out a little bit more because
Do you think you could have though? If we know that he's in Rogue One, like we know that like
no, but
any tension there, it's like, well, even if they just stare each other down and then it like looks to the gun, it's like, what's gonna happen next season in 2 years? Well, I know.
But you can give the answer of Luthen just smiling. I'm just saying when Andor says you can just kill me, and he says he's not gonna fight, then we know right away. Okay, Luthen. We know Luthen's decision at that point. We know he's gonna turn good or not shoot him. If Andor's just standing there waiting to see what Luthen's gonna do, that to me, smile would have meant more. But right when Andor says you can just kill me, I go, okay, well, Luthen's not even going to try. Because we talked about this before of like, okay, what if Luthen does start to kill him? And what if this finale was Luthen goes to shoot him and they fight and scuffle and Andor gets the best of him? But the second Andor said that line, I wish it's like you're already on the fine line. It's not a big deal, but I just like for the times in these shows where they've created tension where there shouldn't be, because we know the fate of these characters, I just thought they didn't do it with that scene. I thought that scene could have been executed better with a little more time. It felt just very quick. It just the whole kind of, if that to me felt the most of like, see you next season, kids, and that's fine. They can do that, but it felt like there could have been a little bit more with that scene and stuff like that. So it just didn't hit me the way some other scenes have, like the past like 5 or 6 episodes that they've done these.
When you speak to him just kind of like jumping off world now and just thinking, okay, just screw Andor, I'm just going to bounce out of here and leave. I think it totally fits because your goal of just kind of looking for Andor in the crowd falls to shit when the whole city turns into a massive riot and the Empire, is going to put their boot into the ground here hard when they kind of get themselves together. So get out of there before the blockades happen and all that stuff.
You pull the Travis in Warzone. He's like, oh God, action's happening. I got to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I have no complaints about that. Luckily, he's alive. I would have been really pissed if like Andor just gunned him down, and the last episode we had of Skarsgård was just him just fucking staring in a crowd for half an hour and stuff like that. So I'm excited to see. Well, right? If he would
Cassian just beats the shit out of like Luthen in the ship right there.
It's like, come
Time's over, old man.
Yeah. So
well, like I get it. Like shit's going crazy, and like it's a little bit harder to find Andor there, but like I just didn't fully understand like Luthen's thought process. Like from that point, like was he just completely done with Andor? Like, I just don't have to worry about it anymore, or I actually still like this is more of a headache because now I have to use more resources to find this guy that I have to kill. Because in the moment that what was her name, Marva, Cassian's mother, like her speech through like the hologram thing, I could tell it like kind of having like a pretty decent effect on Luthen, where like it almost seemed like he was like really getting drawn in and like, man, she is just like pushing the rebellion speech for like everywhere here, and like you could just kind of see that on his face. And then he leaves, and I guess there is chaos that you guys were mentioning, but for me I almost took it like, wow, that speech kind of just like saved Cassian's life, because now Luthen, I don't know, maybe just but like it wasn't like a set clear thing. I don't know, Travis is gonna I was gonna
say I think it was a 1-2 punch, because I think that helped, but I think Cassian saying go ahead and kill me, that helped. To me, that solidified it, because that showed to me, Luthen, that this guy's willing to die to protect people he knows. Because I feel like that's what Andor's kind of doing here, right? He got his friends away, and he's like, I'm going to meet you. He knows if he gets out of here and goes to his friends, there's a chance someone could follow him, kill him and his friends, and put them in a bunch of pain, right? But if someone just finds Andor dead, they're going to stop looking for Bix, all those people, because they don't care anymore because we got Andor. So for me, when he says, you can just kill me, I took that as Luthen being like, oh, now he's willing. Before, when he was so cutthroat and just all about himself, and the whole point of the story is that it's always been an Andor, right? Like it's underneath him. But like now Luthen finally actually sees, okay, this guy, he would go down for other people, which means he would like really fight for the rebellion. Like we got in episode 3, right, when Luthen was like, do you want to do this, or do you actually like really want to do damage to them? So I think it was a 1-2 punch with the speech, but also Andor just pretty much saying he would like sacrifice himself for other people just so the hunt would stop, you know?
Yeah, no, that's fair, because like I said, like when he was leaving, in my mind I'm like, oh wow, that speech just really had effect on Luthen. But then when they're in the ship, it almost seemed like he like still hadn't fully made up his mind. So like just for that scene alone, like when they're staring each other down, I loved it so much. That was obviously like the last scene we see before it rolls to credits, before the end credit scene. But it was just such a great moment. Like again, huge shouts out to both those actors in that scene. Diego Luna was like just completely selling it on a guy that like basically finished his mission. Like he is accepted his fate. You could like see he had like some, I don't know if you call them tears, but definitely some welling up in the eyes. And it's just like, this is the end of the road. And like just having the courage to face it like head on. I thought that was such a huge character moment, and like I said, huge credit to the actor to able to like sell me on that, because not too much dialogue happened there. It was mostly just, I think, the events leading up to it that had more weight than just the overall discussion that those two had. But also just like, I feel like I haven't really seen Luthen like genuinely like have that look on his face where, like, I've seen him, you know, laugh and stuff throughout the show and really pissed off, but there it just seemed like he was kind of surprised. And you know, huge shouts to Stellan for just, again, being able to sell me on that. And oh, it like, that's where it faded to black, and I was like, fuck, man, this show is so good. I can't wait for season 2. Unfortunately, it's a little while away now, but you know, when you get older, time just flies so fast. Before we know it, it'll be here.
Yeah, and then you'll be dead. And that's the thing. You know.
Fuck.
2 years, you're gonna be dead. So.
Yeah. End of Andor season 2. But like,
I hope not. Fuck, that's dark.
Well, yeah, in 2 years.
Put that demon, that devil on me, Ricky Bobby.
It's funny, like in 2 years we're gonna get Rings of Power or House of Dragon. It's gonna feel like 2022 all over again, because none of them are out next year. So it's like they're all skipping a year.
Be that in 2 years.
You know what? We need fucking Patty in a Star Wars thing. You know, because that actor
He would fit so well. Oh
We
my
need this
gosh.
man.
What would he play?
He would be the
could play
creepy
Jar Jar
thin man's
Binks'
father.
dad. I don't give
no,
a
yeah,
shit.
he'd be creepy thin man's father. That's who he would be.
Yeah, or the uncle,
The uncle.
high uncle we haven't
There
heard
you
about.
go.
Oh,
yeah.
there you go.
Uncle
Fuck
Maceres. Yeah, you got anything more to say in the end scene, or are we ready to move on to something else?
I'm ready to move on to something else.
Let's talk about fucking my new favorite character.
It's hard.
So
Oh
what-
my god!
talk
You could
about
probably
a
do like an
journey.
edit of, like, you know, that scene in Charlie's Angels when he gets the hair and he's like sniffing it. Fuck, he could be doing that to Daedra, I'm sure.
So we got set up a couple episodes ago that I guess it was just last week. Whatever. The funeral's happening, and I guess maybe when I rewatch it, I'll have to pay more attention. I know she was well liked. I didn't think the whole fucking town was gonna show up for her funeral, so I'll have to watch. I kind of felt like a disconnect for me to be like this, like the queen fucking died or something like that. But that's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. She's getting this big funeral. Everyone's out. We're towing the bell and everything like that, as we were talking about earlier. And then the plan, like Cyril had, is okay. We're gonna get, you know, Cyril had a plan to get to Anders' mother's funeral and catch Andor, right? And then and not much actually happens in this episode. The funeral is like long. There's a long speech,
Yep.
and then they run away. Like, it's a very quick play and everything like that. So, anyways. No, sorry, I got just a fucking, it's a work number, and I just see a text, and it's like a paragraph. It's like, oh,
Oof.
God. Woo, baby. But anyways, so he's there with his friend, the guy, which I always forget. He's the detective from Batman. He's the commissioner. The guy that says, happy fucking Halloween. That guy next time you watch it. So the guy last week that was like, the funeral cereal.
Right.
That's the same actor from the Batman. So next time you watch the Batman. look
Really?
up for
The
that.
commissioner?
Yeah, the guy who's happy fucking Halloween. And he's the one that dies from like the rat trap and everything like that.
Oh fuck!
Yeah,
He put it on his head.
Yeah. Okay, where is that clip? But
I know.
anyways,
I didn't have it ready
because
Fuck.
like,
What are you showing me? Come on!
that's what that guy said when Cyril's like, "Oh my God, there she is." This guy,
What are you showing me? Come on!
this guy has the biggest heart on. He is ready to overthrow this whole mission just to get through. And when things start exploding, this guy turns into the soldier from 1917, and he is running like a motherfucker to get to Daedra. And the great scene. And again, this is what I love, where everything's going to shit. The rebellion people, I don't know the rebellion, but whatever. The rebellion people, they're just like tearing away at Daedra. They're like on top of her. I don't really know how he got her out of that situation. I'll say that as a negative. Like, there was 15 guys on top
It
of
was
her,
quick.
and then it just edited, and he had a gun to her, like, keep moving. So I think that was kind of sloppy. But either way, he has a gun to her. He's pretending it's someone else. He has her captive, gets in her room, and she looks up and it's Cyril, and she can't believe he saved her. And I thought for a second she was going to whip his pants off and stop blowing right there. because they were so overcome with emotion. He's just like, I'll do anything for you. For a character that I gave zero shits about, I fucking love what's going on here because it's so fucking weird. I just love that scene in that closet there. They're just heavy breathing, looking at each other, talking about how they need one another. I just need to see next season of her going 50 Shades Grey on his ass, just like hitting him with belts, everything. Not gonna happen.
Straps the strap on.
100%, yeah, with a Zoa. But like, I can't wait next season to see their dynamic though. But that was but that moment, it's her. Oh my goodness, I was cackling at midnight. It was great.
I'm worried that it won't deliver to your full. I mean, I know it
No,
won't deliver to your full
so-
extent, but I'm worried that it'll be not as exciting as what we have imagined.
Oh, see, no, okay, I'll walk it back. None of that stuff I pitch is happening. I'm just excited to see their power struggle dynamic. And again, I think what's happening is she's gonna sneak him into these Empire things, and I think they're gonna pretend not to know each other, like in the public, but behind closed doors, they'll be giving each other information. And I don't know if like a kiss
And
is gonna
whips.
happen, but like.
I thought it was gonna happen. Holy
I think
fuck.
it's gonna
I think
happen.
she
Light him over.
I think she looked at his lips, and that's like the sign, when someone's gonna kiss, like
That's
you
always
look at
the
their
sign,
lips.
yeah, look at-
And then I swear she
Just
did
right
it,
in
and
the
I was like, "Fuck no! Don't let this happen right here." And it didn't, so that's good.
Yeah, I think the kiss will happen. I think one kiss will happen next year. I really do.
2 years.
2 years.
There's only one more season left.
I know.
Or
but
I meant like,
Well,
yeah, I
yeah.
see what you mean. I see what you mean.
checkmate.
I think that the notion of having this kind of romance unfold on the Imperial side is really, it's funny. It's like a
yeah.
distorted, weird version of like Leia and Han Solo's love
100%
dynamic.
100%.
And it really is working for me because when he
It's working for me.
the sergeant probably has no fucking clue. I don't know what's
Madison role playing this. He's just running around. Madison's in her little Empire outfit.
Tell
Don't
me
fucking
you
talk to me again.
tell me you arrest me.
Yeah. You ever
I
look at
don't-
me, I'll arrest your whole family.
I don't know what fuck, I always want to call him Cyril now. I don't know
Cyril.
Cyril. I don't know what Cyril has told the sergeant about this woman, but obviously it is to a degree something in depth because he looks at the sergeant and is like, there she is, that's her. And so the sergeant is aware of this woman. And yeah, his whole thing with her is really crazy.
He is, but not. Does he? Do you think he knows his like obsession with her? I don't. Feel
not
like he
to the
knows that.
level that I even think Cyril knows of his own obsession.
It's like the two like geeky kids. There's like the hot girl or whatever. It's like there she is. Oh my god! It's like you can
100%, yeah.
you totally got it, dude.
I can smell her.
It's what
her hair
Ned and
shampoo.
Peter do in Homecoming. When what's her name there? Oh, what was the name of his first love? Shit, Michelle Wilson? No, that's the fucking one now. That's MJ. Fuck, what was her name? She's a character. It's not Betty
Fuck,
Brant.
I can't. Yeah. Oh my god.
No. Who is it? Who's Who's Vulture's daughter?
Oh my. I don't know. We'll
Taylor,
never
you
know.
looking it up right
Taylor's
now?
looking it up. Fuck. That
It
sucks.
is Laura Ruth Harrier.
No,
No.
who's the character name?
That's the actress.
Well,
Look,
the
there's Laura
character.
Ruth Harrier.
Not aware that Peter
Elizabeth
Evans-
Toombs, is that it?
Liz.
Is it
Elizabeth?
Liz?
I think they called her.
No,
Liz.
I think it is Tomb. Yeah, but it is. But I think because her character is based off a character in the comic books named Liz Allen.
Liz
But I think
Allen,
that she's
yeah.
Liz Toombs because they end up the daughters thing. But anyways,
I
that
was
a
not close to
sidebar.
Liz, so
No,
I'm
no,
glad I
no.
didn't pitch a name. Sorry.
But yeah, I just think that getting into that whole little sequence there of being in leading towards them having the private like session in the closet. I think it was great because he pulled the gun out on her, and maybe that was enough to the other people just like, oh, okay, she's gonna be taken hostage, or like. As far as I know, like the other people, this is where it gets pretty dark. The other people probably saw this guy with the gun, put the gun to her, take her down this dark alley into the closet. Probably thought, man, this chick is. What if she's gonna get raped or something like that? These people just are
I
gonna
feel
let
like they
that
already
happen.
kind of insinuated that with the group too, like the way all the guys are pulling at her and stuff like that. It puts you in a dynamic where you don't want anyone sexually assaulted or anything like that. But then you're in the situation of like, well, it's just not saying that should happen, but there's this terrible person on the ground. Like it's that good dichotomy of I think putting an Imperial person like that exposes and showing how shaken she is. It's like you feel for her, but then you remember, well, she's a fucking terrible person. So like it puts you in a great. It's very much like Joker, where it like puts you in that dichotomy of like, fuck, I'm feeling like 10 different things right now, and like how am I supposed to feel about this person? Because really, the thing she does, you should want these men just to like kill her, not the other thing, but just like kill her, because like she's gonna go and kill a bunch of families and
Like
stuff
dismember
like that.
her, like rip her
Yes.
arms off.
I don't
and
want
shit,
the sex. I don't want Star Wars going
no
that
sexual
route.
stuff.
I don't
But, like,
know. I don't
Still,
want that
even
route.
even just like her getting just like basically just like pulled at and everything like in the mob. Like I feel like that's something I haven't seen in Star Wars really ever. And like this show multiple times has really pushed the envelope on what I've seen in Star Wars. So I have to give them a huge credit to that, because this world with everything that they're laying out of like just the tyranny that the Empire is bringing, literally just genociding like entire planets worth of like individuals of people
For
or
a
whatnot.
mixtape.
Mixtape. Like this is a dark world, at least it should be, but because just the way that they've told the stories in the past, it's easy to just not even think about stuff like that. So huge credit to the show multiple times. Again, like this is like there is, I'll choose my words carefully, like mature content more so of just like torture and genocide and stuff like that. It's wild. I'm glad they're touching up on it.
Yeah, that whole scene reminded me of the Dark Knight when they have the it's not the it has the commissioner's funeral, and that's when Gordon like dies, quotations, but they have the shooters, and that's when Joker's there without the makeup, and the way like the whole town is just like in upheaval and stuff's going on, explosion, and that little kid really set off with that little bomb, you know, which was a risky move when he threw that on the open. I was like, how's he gonna do this? There's a lot of like innocent people around, and then he just threw it in a group of innocent people with the Empire. I was like, okay, no, he's just hoping for the best.
I thought it was a bold move. Yeah, danger close.
Yeah,
danger close there.
When Daedra took that rock right to the side of her head, like fuck, that felt really heavy. Like holy shit.
It was like a 4D movie. I like felt it.
yeah, no kidding. But yeah, once he got into that closet and just like she was like super quivering, and the only thing I think she says is just like, I guess I owe you a thank you. Yep. I mean, I'm glad they didn't kiss in this moment. I'm glad they just had the tensity there, because I really do want her to just be like, yeah, I'm going to give you a job in the Empire, and you're going to have this rank and position.
So you don't want them kissing at all?
Not in this episode. I want to see it in the next season. I want.
Don't touch me, Madison.
I want to see him get recruited in there. I want him to bring his sergeant along with him. Why the sergeant is like really sticking it out? I guess he wants redemption too, but he's like the best friend you could have.
He has nothing to do. He has nothing to do. He has no family or anything like that. He's just along for the ride.
They're trading hats all secretly on this ship.
Like, I don't think it's another own possibility next season. If he is around, we get more backstory on those two, like just their relationship and whatnot. Because I didn't think when we met Cyril, we were going to get like 3 episodes of him and his mom, right? And that happened. So if they get a job in the Empire together, I could see an episode where they're on a mission together and you get some sort of dialogue stuff. I'm not saying I actually like really need that, but this show has done a good job of fleshing things out, so I wouldn't put it past them.
Well, like when they met, whatever, I think that was episode 1 or 2. It seemed like they had just met like on like right there, right?
Yeah.
Because he was, Sergeant, you run a tight ship. I appreciate that or whatnot. Fuck, I gotta get it out though, Taylor. When you mentioned like Daedra's got a job for Cyril, she's got like an outfit for him. It's just like super black latex assless chaps. Like
I thought I was in the Empire. You're in my Empire. Yeah. Well, you know
Fuck,
what? And
I love this fan theory that we just like sculpted.
Everyone send us all the Deidre and Serial fanfic. Like this, like, you know how we had that for the sequel trilogy with Raylo? Like, remember Rise of Skywalker, all those sexual pictures that are coming out and stuff like that?
I've seen them.
But, before he gets that suit on, he's going to have to make sure he has no pews, because he should make sure that he gets Manscaped, because he's going to be getting a promotion. He's going to be going to Empire, but he might be even going to Daedra's bedroom, whatever that may be. And he has to be ready. You think she's going to be happy? You think she's going to be happy when he pulls down his trowel and there's just going to be a massive, like, Ferrex bush there? No, you don't want that. You want to be looking Empire smooth. So you want to head over to Manscaped and use that podcast code GVPOD to get 20% off and free worldwide shipping. You want to do that as well with the Black Friday deals and get some extra good stuff going on. Whatever you want, the 4.0, the plow, the exfoliators, the creams, the boxers, the nail trimmers, they got everything covered. You got the lawnmower, which is great for your nose and ears and stuff like that. Just through the roof and everything like that. You want to be heading over to Manscaped, use that podcast code, whether it's for yourself or whether it's for your significant other, if you're trying to give them a nice hint but you don't want to be too over the abundance, or just a good Christmas present for someone around the globe or in your family, right, Taylor Field?
Oh yeah, I mean these products are just absolutely legendary. I love using my Manscaped stuff, and especially in the wintertime too. People think that you might not sweat as much, but you really do when you got the heaters on. You're in front of that
yeah.
that warm toasty fire.
Lots
and
of
your chest,
layers.
Oh, lots of layers. Your chestnuts are fucking roasting, and you don't want them to be sweating. You don't want to be having that stench. And it doesn't even stop there. Like if you've done like a great job trimming and cleaning down there, and sometimes you want to go what's like your magical bridge, the area there, and
South
you just
of the
kind
border.
south of the border. Yeah, you keep going
He's
all
talking
the
about
way
the taint, ladies
all the
and
way around.
gentlemen.
That's the word. Yeah, the airport, the airstrip, and you just go all the way around to the other side there, and just I don't know. If you're Cyril and you need to just kind of like make that landing strip all presentable with your when you got the
Taylor's
acid
saying he has
straps
a
on.
smooth asshole, is what he's saying. There we
That
go.
is the
I'm not
first thing.
saying.
That's what he's
That is the
saying.
first thing Cyril's gonna show Daedra is his ass.
Yeah,
Right, the
you
asshole.
And
can
good thing, you can't
achieve
spread it
that.
unless you got Manscaped. Yeah.
Exactly. You can achieve that with these
don't want a
Manscaped
Sarlacc.
products. And then they got the creams to just slap all over those cheeks too. So, I mean, either way, you're just going to have an absolute like polished white Christmas if you want. So it's going to be good.
Hell yeah. I mean, especially as, someone like Cyril, I feel like he's worked so hard to get like Daedra's just attention and whatnot. If it gets to hot and heavy where clothes are removing, he's only got one shot really.
He
He's
can't screw that up.
no, exactly. If it is like Trev said, Sarlacc pit, like Daedra's just gonna kick him out into space right
She'll
then
kill
and there. Probably. So you got to do yourself the same. If you're on Tinder, you get a nice hot date, and you're trying to make a good impression, make sure that you're smooth and silk like an Imperial cruiser. Lawnmower 4.0, as Travis mentioned, with the LED light. Especially with these days getting so fucking dark so early. My gosh, it's depressing, but it doesn't matter because it doesn't matter if your power goes out. You can still use the Lawnmower 4.0 if you got a nice
Right,
date.
family.
Yeah,
Got
exactly.
light.
Exactly. And yeah, first impressions go such a long way. So make sure you groom nicely, but also ball deodorant, crop preserver, get the nice smells in there, because definitely rock someone's world to make them remember you, but also just have some good smells down there. They'll be like, man, I was with this individual last night and his balls were just so powerful.
Yeah, and then and you're like, can you believe that, Mom?
Can you believe that, Mom? Yeah.
And that's the thing, I am sure a lot of you might be in a new relationship. You might be being like their parents for the first time. You're gonna be nervous. You're gonna be sweating bullets. So that's why you want that area nice and clean, stuff like that. So that area is not.
I was
sweating
wondering
bullets.
where you're going with that. Me and the parents would be like, fuck, that guy's got smooth balls.
Remember that ad read Manscaped gave us last year
Oh,
about
yeah.
like impressing your parents-in-law with your smooth balls? So that was a
yes.
questionable one, but you know what? They're not wrong because you want to be looking good. And there's guards. You can pick whatever length you want. Just make it
Yeah.
nice, trim, and clean. So Manscaped, podcast code GVPOD, 20% off free worldwide shipping. Go do it. When you support our sponsors, you support us. So let's take our also second ad break, and we'll be back with more Andor finale. And we're back. So we have anything more to add on Daedra or Serial?
Not so much. I don't think. I liked how when she arrived, their tactics on like kind of remaining stealthy. That was interesting. Like she didn't have her classic guard, even though when she was like boots on the ground, it seemed like she wasn't hiding at all. It was just her classic Daedra outfit and like an armed guard all around her, like very obvious that this person is in charge. So that was an interesting decision from herself there. But
She got them to take the snipers down because they were just ready to fucking execute
Right.
Andor in the public.
yeah, and again, I've shouted out this actress multiple times throughout the show, but like again in this episode, I feel like just the authority that she brings, whether it's like don't make me repeat myself, like to those snipers, like she has that gravitas to her, and I'm glad that she wasn't killed off in this season.
Yeah.
That we will be seeing more of her, because she's definitely a bright patch in this. She's a bright dark patch because she's a very dark character, but I'm glad we're getting more of it next season.
I'm glad no one was. I'm glad Luthen's around. I'm glad Bix is around. And I liked that being like, it was a very simple mission for Andor, but I like that was the reason he was sticking around. Because at first I a little bit forgot about Bix because I'm like, why the fuck is he like, he knows this is a trap. And I'm like, why the fuck is he sticking around? And I'm like, oh, right, Bix is still locked up when they show it. I'm like, great. That to me is a good, simple reason. He's getting his friend / former lover, maybe again lover. Who knows what's going to happen. But like, that to me made sense why he's not going to leave this person who probably literally stuck her neck out for him and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
I thought, and because like Andor, like I think the only character development we got was that moment with Luthen at the end. The whole episode he was just like doing the action spy thing, but that's fine. Like I think that was good. And I'm just hitting all the points. Like the riot was all good, well done. The tension was there. The speech was great. So I think that whole middle portion was really, really good. And it was good too because I feel like the first 10 minutes were slower. So I'm like, okay, I was preparing myself for what we talked about last week, maybe like a Game of Thrones-esque early seasons finale, where it's like, okay, we're gonna get a lot of talking and people setting up. But I'm glad we actually got to the funeral and all this stuff happened. So I was happy with the whole riot, everything like that.
Man, Bix was looking like Smeagol transitioning to Gollum there in that cell. She was not looking good whatsoever.
Andor?
The things that she was
I
saying.
knew an Andor once.
Just again, so mentally broken, and it's so like unfortunate for that character. But I do like that we got to see her in the early episodes where she was like still like mentally strong and like was a human still really, and then just her getting captured, and then like the before the torture. And then where she is now, and it's just she's been through a lot. She has not just had like 1 or 2 sessions of that helmet thing. I think she's been like those songs are on repeat on her iPod Shuffle or whatever the hell they got in Star Wars land. So I feel for her, and I'm glad that she made it out. But still, like she's not in the clear by any means. Like I feel like this will be something that'll be a long time to recover from, let alone getting some bedroom time with Andor. But yeah.
After the recovery, though.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Yeah. When do you think we see them again? I think it's not till like. Well, actually, I don't know because I guess he went with Luthen, so he might feel he's safe. But I think it might be a couple episodes before we see that crew again. I don't even know where the fuck they're really gonna go.
Like the ones that escaped on the ship
Yeah.
with B2, Bix, Bomb
B2,
Boy.
what a legend,
What a legend. Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and Andor, I can't remember what he said, but he just said like, "Oh, I always ask you, like, almost promise you to do something, and you always deliver," or something like that.
Yeah.
You always
Alright.
fuck up, droid.
Yeah, he just kicks
Just
him.
like pushes him over like the Imperial officer
Why'd
guy.
you play my mama's speech?
Man,
Should've done it
B2.
faster.
I mentioned last week's episode, but that droid, I don't know what it does. His tones, they just pull at my heartstrings. He just brings the emotion out of me. He's just such a interesting little device.
Yeah.
Taylor, anything on what we just said? Bix, the crew that
Riot,
escaped.
yeah.
The riots.
It'd be really unfortunate if the crew and all them were like, yeah, okay, Andor, we're going to Jeddah, right? That's where you want us to go? Like, yeah, you go to the Holy
Vader.
City, or go to Scarif, or go to Alderaan. Those places are all good spots to
Alderaa's nice
hide.
this time of year.
But
Go to Mustafar.
go to Mustafar, yeah.
Just land while Vader's ship's landing. Just crashes it.
There's definitely a very powerful moment here when you just have the whole riot thing kind of unfolding and the people just coming to terms. Like everyone was just thinking it. No one just had the guts to really say it or just initiate or be that starter to ignite that flame. And you have Marva just doing it with the hologram. And again, the speech was just incredible. It was fantastic, and it just reiterates that. To me, it's a very noticeable notion. I feel like in a lot of movies and things where it's like even like Transformers used it, for example, but just like people were they're asleep and they just stood by and let this power just waltz in and establish themselves, and for the most parts, in most cases, they do it with some legality that enables them, and that's what the Galactic Empire did. I know.
Government.
Jay's gonna get
I
in
know.
trouble.
Better
That's how
That's what the
really
liberals
showed.
did. Yeah.
I know. Don't follow me on Twitter. I get vocal. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, tune into me and Kirklin's liberal
You're gonna
conversation
get
another day.
you're gonna get so many more followers now for saying that.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some rowdy people I don't want following me. No. Especially if people are being unbanned off Twitter. Watch out.
Yeah, Taylor's
But,
gonna join him next. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just think that when it comes to the Galactic Empire, like legally just coming into power, and people they feel helpless. They don't know what to do. And what can you do when they're just genociding a planet and playing their mixtapes for people to hear on torture reruns? Like, it's just fucking bonkers. But I just think it's great that Marva's speech was just like, yeah, I'm sleeping. We're all sleeping. And, if I could go back, I would do it. But I do it from the very start. So I go, fuck yeah, let's go. Let's turn the bombs and just fucking huck them over there. Detonate everything.
Kill your innocent friends.
But yeah, it was just, it felt heavy again too when we're so used, like people can be so used to, maybe I'm saying people, but maybe just me, like Attack of the Clones, where you see all the droids and like 1,000 Jedi and clone troopers.
I thought it was more
fucking
government
you
stuff.
people,
Yeah.
yeah, you people.
It's like I'm gonna wake up to a tweet tomorrow. I love the Geek First podcast. It's my favorite podcast of them all. And Taylor Field, he's the best. This spike of followers on our Twitter account with a bunch of white dudes with a hat backwards and the profile picture like.
I love my political views, my aspirations. I'm all about Palpatine.
Don't you love Deidre?
Democracy. I love democracy. I
Deidre's
love the
my favorite
Republic.
protagonist of the Star Wars franchise yet.
Where was I going with this though?
Attack of the Clones and throwing,
yes, yeah. So you have just like these all-out fucking battles and just pitted against each other and just explosions and shit, and it's just super cool. But then you have that, like we've talked about before, Kirkland, where that one lone TIE fighter's flying over. It's like, holy fuck, batten down the hatches. It's crazy. You just feel the heaviness to it. And so in this scene, again, like the sort of like equivalent to the prison breakout, when you have these people fighting and throwing rocks and stuff and going crazy, they're not armed, and you have these stormtroopers just fucking popping off like crazy. And for whatever reason, the one dude, the imperialist, just got super into the zone where, like, you know what, I can't take this fucking toll dinger anymore. We need to fucking eliminate this guy. So he picks one random stormtrooper to go and deal with this guy.
I laughed so hard in that scene.
I did
because
too.
he like points at the stormtrooper and he's just like sitting there. I swear there was like a 5-second delay on the stormtrooper like processing what the guy
he
said.
did not want
He's
to go.
Like, he's like, I think he's talking to me right now.
Oh yeah,
I
he
guess I
didn't
gotta
want to
do
go. And I think it's so funny because he this guy, he's got the ride, he's got everything going on, but his concern is his bell ringer. And so when you focus on that scene where he sees the stormtrooper get kicked out of the tower, it's like this guy's whole entire world ended.
That's it. It's over. The bell will never stop tolling.
He was a weird kid, but like that guy, they've showed though. Remember a few episodes ago, he was like all fucking giddy and had a heart. He's like, "Can I hang them to show a message?" Like he's really bought it in the system. This guy of like, it's all about power. So that bell form is the fucking battle. That bell form means like people are getting motivated. It's like
It's
a
the war
fucking
drum,
power.
man.
Yeah, it's a power buff in the middle of a game. So, but I believe that from what they set up a few episodes ago, and Deidre was like, "Yeah, I guess you can." I can't remember what she said, but he just did it really aggressively. So it fit, and he was the one just yelling at like fire guns. Like he was not.
He was the one
happy.
that gave the order to just like open fire on this I was gonna say unarmed crowd. I guess they were armed. One guy
Armed
had
with
fucking
rocks.
just pipe bombs. I will say too, I was pleasantly surprised that the bell toller was able to defend himself. I was like, oh, it's the end for this guy, and he just Spartan kicks him off of the bell tower there, and yeah, that was fantastic. I will say though, I was kind of surprised that the Empire took so long to like put an end to that speech. I feel like it wasn't really till the end. It wasn't really till the end when she's like, "Open fire, take them down."
They let them
But,
get
like,
their shit in.
Like leading on, it's just like, these guys are bad. We should be pushing against them, and like the Empire is just like, oh yeah, we're just here.
Because it was like a regular speech, and then it just pretty much went in. You know what I hate? The Empire, and they're just like,
What's the deal with the Empire?
yeah, and they're like, well, let's hear her out. Let's see what she's gonna turn. Maybe it's gonna turn around. And then it says like, yeah, fire, brimstone. And even then, he was like, all right, that's enough. And he just took a jacket. They didn't even shoot it. She's like, all right, and he throws the jacket. And it slips. He's like, knock it off. Stop listening. That's the only part where it felt like, okay, this feels a bit more '80s cheesy Star Wars.
goofy,
Of, like, but. It's fine, you know. It was a good time.
Tis fine. I thought the speech overall, though, like they were saying, it was really good. Marvo really had a time to shine, although it was like post-mortem, but still, she had a really powerful effect.
And good for that actress, too, because, you know, she's just on a fucking green screen somewhere talking to herself. Like, she's not with those people, I imagine, so.
Yeah, no. She's
dead.
That's the next season twist.
Well,
She
no,
was
I know,
alive
but
the
I mean,
whole
like,
time. She was like in a closet.
I mean, like, I don't think they put the actress on a board and so you're going to act in front of everything like that, so.
She acted in front of a live audience somewhere in London.
What do you think of this one? Man of Sand says, anyone think the show's title Andor doesn't refer to Cassian himself, instead refers to his mother, Margaret Cassian Andor, whose Prometheus posthumous speech sparks a rebellion? I think it's a fun thought, but I'll still say no.
Season 2 is just a prequel following
it's a
her.
stretch.
fuck. Yeah. You never get season 2 of Cassian, but you know what? That's not bad. Like I could see it meaning you could pitch it as like about them both, about the idea, but I it's tough because I feel like Star Wars has like 3 different times of like when the rebellion was sparked. You know, it's like this is when it started. No, this is who started. So I feel like this is that again, where it's like I don't feel that again, where it's like, well, Minerva, she's the one. It's like, is it like I don't know, but you know, but I could see that. I don't think that's like a fan theory that's you can't have that one. I'm like, no, you could have that.
I like the argument that it's just like maybe the name itself is really the effect more so than the individual's a part of it. And I was actually going to mention like the speech. I don't even know what the character was, but it was what Andor was listening to on that radio of that guy just mentioning like every little like push against the Empire is furthering the cause, even though that you think that like you're just throwing like, again, I'm paraphrasing, but just like essentially like you're throwing pebbles at like a Goliath. Like every little pebble that you're throwing, I'm making my own speech here, like it's having an effect. And that was more so what the message was deriving. And I mean, that's what she was doing. And that's what Andor's shown he's capable of doing throughout the show. And I think just the show in general, like it showed so many different individuals and their little stones that they've thrown up against the Empire. And all of that led up to a moment like this or, oh my gosh, what was the planet that had the heist on it? The Aldani? Is that what it was? Sounds right.
I think it was Aldani, yeah.
So just like all of those little moments of like pushing against the Empire, and I think just having all of that sprinkled throughout the show, I just love it because again, like Travis mentioned, like there's been so many sparks of the rebellion, but I think the show is showing that it wasn't just a single spark. Like it was so many different moves here and there, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, and the thing, like other Madison also says, like could it be like the Andor becomes associated with the rebellion, sort of the way Skywalkers did. The reason I don't think that is because I think the Empire would control the narrative of what comes out from this planet. Right? These were terrorists. These were whatever. These were people. Like that's where I think you wouldn't hear about that. So that's why. And if they retroactively made it that Andor's name was a part of the rebellion, I think that to me would be a little too much for me. Of like. These characters we've never heard of, but just in Rogue One and this, like, oh, they really started the rebellion. It's like, no, we see all the time there's little pockets. I just think it's like what Kirklin was saying. I think it's like this is probably happening on other planets with other characters too, but you don't hear about them because the Empire shuts them down. Same thing, right, Taylor? Couldn't you make the argument for, well, the rebel, like the character, like Ezra Bridger and Kanan, like they really started the rebellion. Like you could make that case of like, well, they are doing all this shit while Luke was doing nothing, right?
Well, that is the thing. Like when it comes to the rebellion, and I think Rebels really. They say it in the show, like, okay, you guys are not the only rebel sect, like doing their own thing. Like they're all over the galaxy, all doing things, and it was just a matter of, hey, we need to organize and get all of these groups to actually join together, and
that's what Leia did, and that's what they, that was the point of Leia because she's like the princess and stuff. What'd you laugh? You don't like Leia's contribution?
Just I've had this thought in my head that there's gonna be like a re-edited version of like the original, and there's just gonna be like a tattoo on Luke's arms as like Andor or something. Yeah, it's like he's the reason that's.
She gives the plans like for Andor, and they're like for Andor, and like, but let's see. Let's talk. I want to talk about Mon Mothma because there's two surprising things here. So they do this thing where she's kind of sniffed out that her driver might not be what he seems to be. So she starts to get in play of, man, this is his Game of Thrones level shit. Absolutely love it. She's spent all this money. People are eventually going to start looking for it. How is she going to explain this? How is she going to explain all this money missing? Well, she's going to frame her fucking scumbag husband, who is a scumbag, but is an innocent in this situation because he's like, you can ask anybody. I did not spend the money. But she's like, no, you did. And it's like, so I fucking love this plot that she's just going to pin it all on him and he's going to go to jail. But what I can say, a hashtag Travis told you wrong, whole season when they did what I thought was a red herring of her daughter meeting the Climb Lord's daughter. I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. She has another way. And I was wondering last week when she was crying when she saw her daughter, but I thought, no, they're just really hitting us over the head of the red herring, stuff like that. But no, the last scene of her was her and her husband introducing their daughter to that crime lord's son. And again,
Davos.
next season could they could have a plan. She could have a plan. Maybe the daughter finds out what Mon's doing and is with her, against her, whatever. There's a whole season, so this could still be like a kind of a red herring. No, it's not red herring. They still met, but I was surprised. And if there is no plan, then it is Mon Mothma making these, what we talked about last week, like that terrible choice of, okay, the rebellion's important, but how important is it? And now, if it is, to me, it's I get why she's doing it, but again, that's a shade of gray, because as me, I don't feel great about Mon Mothma potentially setting her daughter up with this son. You know,
her daughter seemed down for it. Fuck, she was happy.
But her daughter doesn't know. She doesn't know, oh, this is the son of this crime lord. Because the crime lord has so much money, to the daughter, it's just like, oh, another rich dude, right? But doesn't know this guy's probably sold drugs or sold people. The daughter
Death
just
sticks.
yeah, exactly. So it makes me feel a little like Luthen a couple episodes ago saying, oh, we'll just sacrifice those people because for the rebellion. Makes me feel a little bit icky if you were to say, oh, Mon Mothma might kind of sell her daughter off. Now I'm hoping next season she has a way out, like with this husband twist of going to pin it on him. But as of right now, it's like, man, Mon Mothma's going through some shit right now, you know? So
Yeah, I feel like it's not like it. I can't really put much on her though, because I mean, I'm not a parent, so maybe it's hard for me to like make comments on that. I'm just like setting up your child for this arranged marriage thing, even though like through their eyes they might be for it. Like she knows, on the wider scope of things, this probably isn't the best idea if this guy is pretty sus and just like
her daughter could get put into terrible situations. What if some
Absolutely.
guy wants to kill this criminal and her daughter's there in the wreckage of that, you know?
Absolutely. And I think just coming even from last week's episode when she was really just upset and just pissed off, like it's almost like, for me, retroactively thinking, it seems like she knew that she already made the decision, like in that meeting that she had with Davos, and she's just been like sick with herself that she's like done that, because she is so deep in the rebellion side. Fortunately for the good guys of the galaxy and everything, it's awesome having characters like that. But I think it's just it's shitty, but huge credit to the show for just having those moments in there, because to have a fantastic rebellion that we end up getting, it takes huge amounts of sacrifices. And that's another thing that the show is just showcasing, whether it's Luthen doing his speech, for everything that he's had to sacrifice, absolutely everything. And now Mon Mothma. Mon Mothma. Is it Mothma?
Mon Mothma.
Because I feel like I've said Mothra and Mothma.
That's
like,
Mothra.
yeah, like
Godzilla,
interchangeably.
kaiju.
And
I know
yeah,
how we'll save the rebellion. She's a
it's like
kaiju.
American werewolf in London or
Having
something.
a giant
She-
kaiju,
in the Senate. You're not
Yeah.
listening to me?
huge dress. Taylor, what do you think about
any
Mon?
thoughts?
Yeah.
I think that it's going to be very interesting to see what unfolds with these positioned relationships that are going to be, kicking off here. Because the daughter being in full support of this, like, Chandrillan Customs, let's fucking go, kind of a thing. So she's all on board
Not a
with
quote.
that. No, I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
And as for the husband being thrown under the speeder, I think that is so brutal and shady. But again, it's cool to kind of see the tie into that ISB agent that was just pissed off at Daedra. He is back in the picture here, just kind of focusing up on other I don't want to say loose ends, but possible connections to what's going on here. So I think that's very cool. And just it really made you feel like shit. This is just super like in the thick of it, the realism of it, because before we only had Mothma just saying like, hey, I got a new driver, I can't trust him and all that kind of stuff. But now when she asks for privacy and they're flying away and all of a sudden the driver just casually clicks the audio on, it's like, fuck, that's really just nuts. It's like when Kirklin, you're talking about your Cimarrillion, I can't pronounce it.
What was he
Cimmerillion.
talking about?
Cimmerillion. And then all of a sudden I'm getting ads for the Cimmerillion on my end. It's like, fuck, they're always listening. The fucking ISB's got their ears in.
yeah.
And
They just listen.
Yeah, just listen all right.
Taylor, can you say giant strap on into the camera for the viewers?
Giant strap on.
And now Madison's phone's like, Taylor, what are you looking at?
Oh, fuck.
Finally, you're on board?
The Daedra role player. Anything else? Because I know we got to end this soon, Taylor. So anything else quickly to shout out?
Post credit scene.
Oh yeah, it's
Change
fine.
Star Wars as we
Yeah.
know it.
It's fine, not needed. To me, that was like
Not
that's
needed.
where it felt uncharacteristic of the show. Of like, oh look, we're
I
Death
thought it
Star's
was
coming. It's like
I thought it
okay,
was
I
fun
know.
though because like again reminder of where we are on the timeline. If you're really out to lunch and you have no idea where the show is taking place, but
Yeah.
also like
Somebody's mind was blown. I thought this
it
was a
just-
sequel to Rise of Skywalker.
like it just answered what they were building, and I think that's fun because
Yeah.
I didn't have to know what that was, but now knowing that like everyone in this underwater manufacturing facility is just slaving away to make this same thing so many times a day, like however many times they do it. It's like, what the fuck are they building? Well,
I
okay,
thought
a
we
giant
talked
Death
about it
Star.
being the Death Star. I thought we talked.
Probably
about
did. I don't know.
Okay,
I was
fair
probably
enough, yeah.
half listening or something. I don't
It
know.
looked visually cool. Yeah. No, I'm not poo pooing on it. It's just like it felt when the show feels like like it just doesn't feel like that type. So that's why it was kind of just weird to even hear that it had a post credit scene. It's like, oh, that like this is so not of like the Star Wars Marvel Disney Plus S type of show, but that's fine. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't expect us to get Death Star in season 2 or anything like that. Like
Andor
I think
fights
that,
it himself in space.
yeah,
Luthen gets his ship.
spins around. Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. Yeah, I don't see the Death Star coming in season 2. Maybe another little Easter egg or something like that. But I just love that. Again, the small scale building of the components and leading towards, hey, these little things are. They're leading towards the construction of the downfall of the galaxy, and people just think, like, yeah, it's just jail time. That's all it is, and it goes hand in hand with Marva's speech. Like, we've been asleep. I've been asleep. You've been asleep, and that's what it is with these prisoners and everyone. Like,
She's dead. She's
they
not
don't
asleep.
understand what they're contributing to. They're just trying to get out and do the 9 to 5, the get out of the jail grind, and it's so much
That's
more
more
than
than
that
a 9
because
to
like
5, I'd say.
even if they were we know now they don't get released, they get put on another floor.
Yeah.
But even if they did get released, it doesn't matter because the jail doesn't end there. The jail is now everywhere because they've helped contribute to that with this Death Star and what they're creating. And again, it's not. I don't see it as a large scale cameo of any sort. It's just like, hey, this is a cool little tie back into how such a small thing has such big implications for the galaxy, and I really, really like that. And again, too, cinematically, when it just shows how like perfectly rule of thirds that scene was, it's just like the constructions of the dish. Oh, it just looks so cool. I would love to get a T-shirt of that with like the blueprint
It's
layout.
gonna be Taylor's wallpaper soon.
What percentage do you think of completion the Death Star is in there in that image? Because they like I was kind of surprised with how much of the the overall sphere they
Yeah.
had. Like at first they had the zoom in. I'm like, okay, we're probably gonna see just like the outline, but it was like, holy fuck,
Well,
they're putting in
I'm
like
a
the gun right now.
43. I'm like a 43.
You think 43?
Not a chance. 43.
You think
Oh,
lower?
Man. No, higher. Like completion.
But I think a lot of the insides aren't done. Just
Innards
like all
might be empty, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think.
No,
They
I'd
have the
say
staff room
the
in,
innards.
yeah.
Like you have to look back to when they started because they started in Attack of the Clones, and you could see from the blueprints that they have there that that's like the framework. And then you see in Revenge of the Sith, which is only 3 years later, they have a pretty good the interior is really coming together for that. And then
All right, I'll go
Rogue
63.
One, when when Rogue One they put the
You
dish
changed
in
it pretty easily.
Rogue that
I
and
said
that's
be
only
quick, and we're arguing about the percentage of the Death Star.
that's a 20 year span between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, and then Cassian, I'm assuming, is still within that 5 years before A New Hope, and Rogue One is literally right before. So when they were 100% operational,
the Knives Out review.
100% operational in A New Hope, and this puts it like a few years, I would still say this is probably about 90% completion. You have to think like
Oh.
1% is at least like almost a year. Like 1% is probably like at least a good dose of time. Like maybe like 3 months, 6 months of work time. So
Do you think they move in like half complete? Like they gotta, get the janitors set up, get the glory holes ready.
sorry, what's the question?
Nothing. That's nothing. You gotta listen back
Kirk-
on the episode and know what I said.
Kirk, I just want to shout out again here how your shoulder arm just lines up perfectly with the
Oh, I
rock.
know. I was thinking too. I could probably like do something like this. Oh, I gotta
Now
be
it's
farther
less
away.
so.
It doesn't line up there. You gotta sit back where you. It's worse. It's so much worse.
Yeah.
No, it's not working.
All right.
There you go.
I-
You're back at it.
Final thoughts and a rating on the season. I'm going to give this the same score that I gave The Force Awakens, which is a 9.5 out of 10. I don't think the Disney era yet has had a 10 out of 10 project. I think they have 10 out of 10 episodes, stuff like that. You'll have to see where I rank them, though, as far as what's above the either one. But yeah, around that same thing, I'd say this is... I could make a case that it's the best thing they've made. That's where we'll talk about with the rankings. But I mean, like, for favorite, that's different. But for best, the quality of thing like that, it's definitely up there. And that's why with Force Awakens, I have cases for, other than Opie, which is just a cover song. I have many cases why that's the best thing. But no, I enjoyed it. Like I said, it turned me around quite a bit from, I think I was probably like a 7.5 when this thing started to, like I said, it's pretty high for me. I think there's some weaknesses here and there. And I think they all mostly are within those 3 episodes. Like, I will never be a fan of like the Tim like soap opera stuff like that, and I still think there's some things with Cyril and his mom you could have cut. We saw some of that stuff, but I still think there's some things that weren't vital in those kind of first like 1 to 5, and then I think like after that heist and then following, the show really found its like perfect sweet spot and stuff. But still, like, my cons aren't that big because they're only a 0.5, so not a perfect score, but a 9.5 out of 10 for myself. Kirkle-Patzer.
9.5 out of 10. Yeah, I'm just gonna give this a 10 out of 10. I thought this was, I don't think it's like perfect. I think Travis brought up some good points of like, I definitely, I like Cyril more, but still, fuck, I was not loving him in the early stages of the show, and it definitely like
10,
earlier on in the show, I think I was having a little bit more issues with like Tim and like just some other things.
Yes.
Maybe the pacing too. It helped that we transitioned the reviews to away from midnight, so I wasn't so sleepy. So thank you guys for allowing me to do that. But honestly, I enjoyed this so much for just the way that I think about like this stage of the rebellion right now. Fantastic performances all around. It's like the best looking Star Wars show that they've ever done. I don't even think that's arguable.
Disney Plus show, I'm still gonna say, even with Marvel, everything they've done.
It looks so great, of great budget. I was reading too, like they really focus on just doing more larger scale like practical sets and stuff. So I think that really shined through. Music was phenomenal. I fucking love this show so much, and for that reason, I'm giving it a fat 10 out of 10. Not even a thin 10 out of 10. This is a chunky one. Zoa filled and all. I love the show so much. I'm excited to rewatch it. I'm excited to watch Rogue One now too, which
Who
is
needs
something
season 2?
I haven't really. Yeah, exactly. This leads up right to Rogue One, right? But yeah, no, it's been lots of fun reviewing it with you guys, talking about the Daedra stuff has just been hilarious. Cyril has just morphed into this meme that I'm glad he's going into season 2 for that reason. I'm excited that we can keep fanficking about him and Daedra. So yeah, 10 out of 10 show, man. I fucking love this one, and I'm praising it to everyone that I see. That this show is fantastic.
I'm assuming I'm gonna go next. Travis is hopefully he's not violently puking up that Zoa. Just,
Yeah. Oh fuck!
Skin rash.
He like hides his cam but not his mic. He's like,
I'm throwing up like Cindy in the Scary Movie, or Bobby.
Yeah, this show has really, really caught me by surprise, because at first I didn't know what we were gonna get. Like in this show, I didn't know we were gonna get like a heist and a prison break and so many of these different levels just kind of dissected, and narratives that were explored with awesome characters that were introduced. And while there's definitely some things that weren't super, super strong for me, I would still probably go 9.5 out of this show. I'm not going to give it like that, the perfect 10 out of 10.
I'm shocked. I am
me too.
Complete shock it's not a 10 from Taylor.
Well, like I definitely loved everything we got. I personally, like, if it was going to be a 10 out of 10, I wanted more of that ISB stuff, but that's not why I'm detracting it by 0.5. The 0.5 comes from the fact that there were some moments that were very slow and not in a good way for me personally. But I love that this show just really had you guessing. Like when we get that first episode, it's like, oh, okay, Andor's looking for his sister. That's going to be the main theme here. No, they totally just throw that
Fuck, I
to the
forgot about
side
that, actually.
because he gets mingled in with this other overwhelming narrative that's so much bigger than him, and it's something that could be revisited later. Like it just keeps you guessing. We get the amazing characters like Mon Mothma. We get Luthen. We get all these awesome storylines. So it's still very strong, and just to have the ISB as prominent as they were just was fantastic. I love seeing the inner workings of the political side of the Empire on this degree. So the show is incredible. I recommend it to so many people as well. Like you guys, you need to check it out. Check it out. Like it's great. So hopefully the show pops off when those first 2 episodes are dropped on those other streaming services and people get aware of this and they retroactively go back onto Disney Plus and watch all the episodes, because this show deserves some more love. And I think it's a really good, refreshing stamp starting point over for like Star Wars to a degree, where we can really maybe get some cool new cinematic stuff, like continue obviously with Mando and other characters and all that stuff. But movies, I think that movies especially, I think that this is great. Also, I saw someone comment, this is a little side right here, someone commented like, oh yeah, like you guys, Kathleen Kennedy, she greenlit like Obi-Wan and or all this yada yada yada. I'm like, well, I don't dismiss that, she did, but where are the fucking movies? I don't see them.
Okay, you don't. No, don't rant on that.
I'm done.
Knives Out
I'm
showings
done.
in 17 minutes.
I'm done.
Because I know once you get on the fucking movie rant,
I'm
you're
saving
all
it for the
set.
bread and butter. Just you wait.
Oh yeah, there you go. So, I ranked the announced movies right here that I'm waiting for. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have done it. We will be back for Andor season 2 when it does release. But we'll be back for the Star Wars front for Mando, because I think that's coming out February is the rumored date right now. So if you like what we did here, we very much appreciate you listening along for the first episode. If this is your first episode, go back and check out. We've done every single other Disney Plus, Marvel, and Disney show if that's your bag, and we'll be doing every one of them until we die from Zoa. So thank you very much, and may the Force be with you.
Oh.